FCPG Testimonies. What's your story that can give God glory? Is it healing? Is it provision? Is it protection? Is it the saving of a loved one that was lost? Is it the destruction of a stronghold? A breakthrough from oppression or depression? No matter what it is, I want you to share it with us.
Turn up your volume, now it's time to get it. You're now turned into the sounds, I'm fully committed. His grace and mercy, you heard me, so please lend me your ears. Grab up here, got an awesome story for y'all to hear. Shed a tear, these miracles are so touching. You might start jumping or break out running. The one who's coming said he never leave you lonely. And this here is FCPG Testimonies. Fully committed production group, 100% or repent. I am Grace and Mercy, your host with the Holy Ghost, and you are welcome to another episode of FCPG Testimonies. Y'all clap it up, 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 clap it up. Hey, shout out to the live audience gang. As always, I don't care if it's one, if it's two, if it's three, it don't matter. When two or three are gathered together, there he is in the midst. Amen.
Come on
so
now.
That means the Lord is in the midst.
Yes, he is.
Today. And speaking of being in the midst on today I'm joined by my good friend, my homeboy, man, my new partner in Christ, Mr. Ronnell Johnson. Y'all clap it up for the guest on today. Hey. So what's happening, my guy?
Much, man.
How you feeling on the day?
Good and tired at the same time.
I know, you fresh off of work. Yeah. My man was like, I'm going to come soon as I get out of work. I said, you need time to change clothes? Because it ain't no rush. He was like, nah, I'm going to bring my clothes with me. I said, all right. I said, this dude, he must got a good testimony. If he coming fresh off of work with his clothes in his bag to the podcast. I mean, you don't do that for a Lord you don't love. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know.
Nothing but love.
I know it. I'm with it. Hey, shout out to the Fully Committed gang on the muds. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. You know, we sipping on some of this good coffee, and we about to get a little swig on. But just to begin the conversation, you mind if I call you RJ?
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. Mr. RJ, tell me what was life like before Christ, like growing up as a youngin'?
Before Christ, I mean, as a real little kid, you know, of course, I had my fun playing around and whatnot. But for me, my actual first experience or touch of Christ, I was in Germany as a kid. Oh, it was my first stepdad was military.
Okay, I was about to say that's definitely a military comment.
Yeah,
you hear Germany military?
That's for sure. That for some reason you grew up there, and I ain't figured that one out yet. If you ain't military,
yeah.
But we was at a church that was on the base. Believe it was Nelligan base.
Yeah.
Under Pastor Lau.
Okay.
Who actually like Apostle Brooks and them came up under Mother Boyd and all them great general women and stuff from way back. Mm-hmm. And I forgot the service they were having, but I remember my stepdad being there at the time, my mom, all of us was there, and they had an altar call. And me and the pastor's son used to play around like we were playing the drums and stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his real name, but his nickname was Pookie.
Yeah. Hey, look, he black. I know that. His nickname That's Pookie, sure. He definitely black. He's not German. He's black.
No, he was black. So, we were talking about how like all the older saints and our parents, they be crying when they at the altar.
Yeah.
So we went in the bathroom and put water under our eyes to make it look like we had been crying.
I'm done. Yeah.
And so when we went to the altar and knelt, I actually got the real experience and was really in tears and could not move. Mm-hmm. I was the last person on that altar.
The Lord said, "Oh, you can't. I'm gonna pour on you for real. You don't put that water on your face."
Pastor came over. Everybody came over trying to move me. Nobody could move me.
Yeah.
And then my mom comes up and touched me, and then the release finally happened, and I could get up.
Get up. How old are you at this time?
Probably 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Wow.
Babes in Christ, out of the mouth of the babes, coming perfect praise. That's what the words say. 7 years old. So what was the Lord talking to you, or did you like go off in a trance? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you think was holding you there on the altar all that time?
I don't know. For some reason, I felt like the lady with the issue of blood when she was like, if I could just touch the hem of his garment.
All right, now
And it was like, or even like I'm trying to remember the one in the Old Testament, but Jacob, when he fought with the angel, was like, I ain't letting go till you bless me.
That's right.
It was like that feeling, like I'm not letting go till I know.
Yeah.
And I just had to sit there and just bask in it. Not knowing what it was, because like I said, I'm only 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So I don't fully know or understand, but just that feeling, that comfort, because it was literally like God just came over me, grabbed and hugged me, and sat there.
Yeah.
And wouldn't let go.
At 7, I'm gonna keep on that 7, 8 years old. That is awesome to have that type of experience. So then when happens, so after your mom touch you and you finally feel that release, you get up, what's different or what's life like after that?
After that, I think the following year, my dad got stationed to come here. And so we moved here, first lived in Garden City. Used to go to Sprague Elementary.
Yep. Shout out to Sprague.
Then we moved out to Richmond Hill, where I actually grew up. And, hanging around certain friends, certain people, you get into different things. My thing is, I'm not ashamed of my testimony. And that's one of the things that gets me with so many saints is you want to talk about how God saved you. He did this, he did that, but you won't say what it was.
Come on.
Me, I know what I was doing.
Come on.
I was out there. But by the time I was a teenager, I was having sex and messing with different girls and stuff, or at least trying. I wasn't always successful because most of the time I got told I looked like Urkel. Because I used to go to America's Best and get them 2 for $59 glasses.
Yeah.
Big old Coke glasses.
Hey, they 2 for 79 ain't too bad nowadays.
Yeah, the 79 look better. Back in the day, y'all had us jacked up.
Yeah, it is.
In the Army, when I joined at 18, we called them BCGs, birth control glasses.
Yo, hold up. If you gonna make a comment like that, make sure I ain't sipping nothing, right? Cause I almost choked on that comment. That man said BCGs.
That's what we call them. Because that's what they give you. That's what they gave you in the Army. That's what they give you when you join. Well, back when I joined, that's what they gave you when you joined. You didn't have your nice regular civic glasses. Oh, they give you these big old plastic glasses.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, snap. That's hilarious.
But as a teen, I smoked. Really didn't drink as a teen, but I did get into smoking weed and around the wrong crowds and doing different things. But I was always still in church.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was going to Overcome It by Faith. And
shout out OBF.
I remember they had a program for all of us to go through that we were supposed to commit to abstaining from sex. And, if your parents could afford it or whatnot, you got some jewelry or a ring or something to commemorate it. But at the end of the program, we literally stood in front of the church and your parents and got the certificate and made the promise. But I remember several of us actually going outside after we did the whole commitment. We was outside. And a lot of us was like, man, we're going to turn the picture down. We're going to take the jewelry off.
Yeah.
We were still going to do it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Come on, keep it real.
I mean, just being honest.
Keep it real. Yeah.
But, even through all that, I still thank God that I never got hooked to nicotine.
Yeah.
Never had to smoke weed every day. Like, if I quit, it was no problem. I didn't go through any of that. Even when, I got older and started drinking, hitting the clubs and hanging out and stuff, way back. Anybody remember Savannah? You remember Frozen Paradise and the
Frozen P. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm talking about Frozen Paradise when it was on Broughton.
Yes, sir. Two levels. Upstairs, downstairs.
Yes, sir.
And then Keisha opened the other spot over there off Farm Street.
Hey,
come on.
Hey, listen. Listen, if you don't know about Frozen and Keisha and Oz, you is not an old head Savannah Club head. I'm not from here, but that was definitely my scene coming up back in the day. Yes, it is.
You really old school if you remember the Conga Club when it was right there just before going to River Street.
Yeah, going down. Yeah.
Free before 11. Ladies' night.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, Conga Club. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you talking. Sister Girl Tuesday was at the Conga Club first back in the day, and then when Conga Club closed, that's when they moved it to Island Breeze. Yeah. But then they would have a lip sync night at Frozen too. Listen, I remember all that. I remember they used to have college night at Oz on Thursdays. Boy, I was in there. Mr. Wonderfuls.
Yep.
Say Hayes.
I remember when they used to have a spot on Broughton that was the only spot that actually had a drinking challenge. And I have tried to beat that drinking challenge and got very close to it. The one night I went, I had a bad toothache, but I thought I could power through it. And then the coldness of the drink hit that tooth. It was a $20-something drink called the Irish Trash Can.
The Irish Trash Can.
And then I walked in one day and seen with one dude drunk it in, and I said, I'm done. Y'all ain't getting no more of my money.
That's it. That is. So we talking club head. What was your club life like in the club? Was you the dancer?
Oh yeah.
Was you the guy that was on the wall?
No,
the thug.
I'm still the dancer. I grew up as a dancer.
Yeah.
5 years old, trying to do all the break dance moves because I had all the movies on VCR tape.
Tape.
All y'all youngins don't know nothing about a VCR tape. Y'all barely know DVDs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But I'm talking about on videotape, VCR. You had to rewind almost the whole video to get back to the part you wanted to see.
Yes.
Want no skip button.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And then we used to have the rewinder. You take the VCR out, take the tape out the VCR and put it in the rewinder
just to rewind it back. But I'm talking about breaking 1, breaking 2.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, what was my other one? I forgot the other dance movie. But I grew up watching all them old video, Michael, trying to copy all the moves, doing the moonwalks and everything.
Yeah.
So I was still always the dancer. Went to all the high school dances. Shout out Richmond Hill. Wildcat for life.
Shut up. You don't hear that every day, Richmond Hill.
All the homecomings.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Any y'all youngins that got parents still at Richmond Hill, ask them about Ronnell. They'll tell you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's funny, man. That's funny. So, what club head, dancer, all that. And through this whole process, you still in church.
Still was going to church.
Yeah.
Especially by that time, I wasn't at Overcoming by Faith, but my parents were ministers under Pastor Bullock.
Okay.
And at his church. And so we were going there, and that was with my first wife. And so we were going to that ministry and had joined and still would hit the club sometime or go hang out with certain friends and stuff. But at the same time, still come back, giving the glory like many of us do now.
Yeah.
Still get drunk, go party on Saturday and show up Sunday.
Yeah, it is. That's it. That's the life. That's what used to be the life. It ain't the life no more. But that used to be the life. We keep it real. Keep it real. That's what people did, still doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's but to God be the glory. That's not the story no more.
Oh no.
Yeah. So first wife, how was that relationship? If you want to talk about it.
5 years and ended up finding out that the son that I thought was mine wasn't. And that was pretty much the destruction of it.
The end of that. Yeah. I can feel that. I can feel that. Wow. So then, you keep it moving after that one.
Yep. And ended up, this goes way back too. Actually met my second wife while working at Daiquiri Island on
Hey
Abercorn.
man, hey, listen, he done dropped the names of all the old school club head alcoholic spots. Daiquiri Island, too. Come on,
Right
bro.
in front of the Doubles
Come
Hotel.
on, man. Matter
They
of
used to have the
yes,
club in it.
yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you go to Daiquiri Island, then you go downtown. Yeah, and do your thing. Listen,
Me and my homeboy, God rest his soul, Andre, they used to be there. We did the bouncing and the karaoke.
the bouncing and the karaoke at Daiquiri Island, and in church on Sunday.
Yep.
Hey man, when they say don't judge me,
I remember having to, when I was staying with my parents, borrowing one of their cars, getting to work. And because that was like my part-time job at night. And my dad was like, man, I hope nobody from the portal would not recognize that car because they all know me as Rev and they gonna think it's me in there and it's you.
You're making me look bad, son. You need to get a car. Yeah. And so were you, I know you was like going to church or whatever, but were you involved in ministry in this time or?
At that point, I really not like that.
Okay.
I think when I was working at Daiquiri Island, I think by that time my parents had branched off and started their own ministry.
Okay.
So we was going and I was always the drummer, but I wasn't like involved. Much like I was when I was a kid. You know, and even then, you know, in all honesty, which is one part that I do miss, is being in a church that really put the center focus on having that relationship with Christ.
Come on.
Because for me, and this just speaking for me, I got so involved in ministry and things that I could do that actually developing a relationship. You know, I only heard it from my mom, but it didn't register because I was just like, man, shoot, I got this to do and that to do and that to do. And then at the time I'm working, so it was like, and playing sports for Richmond Hills. So it was like I was caught up, but never developed that relationship from a youth up, even after that first touch, because I didn't know.
Yeah. And then after that, that first touch, and then I know you ran out into the world. Did you ever feel like God was calling you back, or you know what I'm saying? Like, was there any conviction while you was running the streets, clubbing and stuff like that?
As I got older, I start to feel it more.
Yeah.
From like my teens up, I could feel it, but not knowing because, like I said, I was still doing things. So it was like, it almost reminded me of like the scripture where the people would tell God when he came back, like, hey, I did all this in your name, but you still went a whole nother way. It was like that same thing. It was like, I felt like I'm doing all this good stuff still, so I'm good.
Yeah. Works. Yeah. And not the conversion. I can rock with that. I can feel that. We have a question from the audience. She tried to be sweet with it and send me a text message, but she know we ain't got no format on FCPG Testimonies. If the audience want to ask a question, they can just yell it out. Raise your hand, raise your hand. That's the only courtesy you can give. But yeah, I'm saying because you off the camera, so just be like, hey, yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, throw your church finger. I got a question. So live audience member, Mrs. Mercy. Do you have a question, ma'am?
RJ?
Yes.
So you mentioned that do you still have a relationship with the child from the first marriage?
Oh, yes.
What was the outcome?
Yes.
Y'all aren't together.
Well, I ended up raising all my kids.
Yeah.
While their mom wasn't in their life. Made the choice to be with someone else and really wasn't there. So I was really the only father he knew, even after he got the chance to meet his biological father. Because of court issues and whatnot and custody issues, they asked him to come here. he basically told him, look, at that time, I'm going to keep paying child support, but I don't want nothing to do with you. So I'm like the only father he knows. So me and him, you know, there's been issues in the house and here, and then when he was staying with my parents and stuff, because he was a teen growing up and dealing with a lot, because even when he was 5, which, you know, sometimes it's still hard to talk about or really see, but I remember getting a phone call from her that the kids didn't get off the bus. And I was like, well, call the school. What's going, you know, find out what's going on. Then my mom calls me and is like, they got Jeremiah by himself and they're taking him to the hospital. I said, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm flying from work, used to work at a place called Tubular Steel in Pooler.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody know how Pooler police are.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't care. I'm in a minivan doing about 90 all the way to Memorial. Get there, and I remember a couple cops being there, DFAX people and whatnot, and they're looking at my ex at the time, and they're like, Miss Johnson, we're going to make sure you keep your kids and this, that, and the third, while I'm looking at my son, and it looks like this man got whooped like he was in slavery at 5 years old. At the same time, took punches from Mike Tyson. And I'm like, I looked at this lady, I said, if it was me, I wouldn't even be here at the hospital. But because it's a woman, y'all got all this sympathy. While my son looks like this. I looked at the cop and I told him, I said, because he knew me, I said, dude, you know my background, you know I'm ex-military. Bring my son to the car with my mom. I'm walking out of here because if I stay, I will grab your gun, empty it in my ex and the DFAX worker before y'all touch me. And don't care about going to Carl Griffin. And he was like, the lady was like, he's threatening us. He was like,
No,
that's a father that's hurt.
Come on, man.
Because he's speaking truth. Every time men or whatever come down there, the child support or whatnot, y'all treat us like dirt, but it's not always us that has to pay. Like even when she was on it, she got 15 grand behind and they never went to look for her, and the girl's right up the street in Macon. But I'm like, if it's me and I owe you 50 cents, my license is suspended and y'all done locked me up. Wow.
And this is the child that you thought was yours, and you find out that it wasn't, and still have a father's heart and that type of compassion for a young man.
What age did you find out?
At that point, yeah, I knew he wasn't. But I'm the only father he's known. I'm on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
I was there when he was born.
Yeah.
Right at the hospital on Fort Stewart.
Shout out to real fathers, man. Shout out to real fathers. Real fathers. Yeah, Thank the live audience member for that question. You stepped in thick with that question. Goodness. Sheesh. I forgot where we was at before we asked the question. Man. Yeah. I want to commend you again off of that. That's real talk. And I definitely, as a we don't say it, but stepfather myself, I definitely know what it's like to have that type of compassion and conviction for a young man that may not have your blood, but that's my son.
Oh yeah.
That's my son. I don't care about none of that, all that other stuff. And yeah, that's and real, man.
We still talk to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah, if you see it, know I love you. He out in Kentucky.
Yeah.
With 2 daughters of his own.
Okay. Oh, he grown now. How old is he now?
I think he'll be 22
this year. Shout out to Jeremiah, man. I hope you do see this.
Matter of fact, what was it? February 1st. I think he just turned 22.
That's what's up. Happy birthday, Jeremiah, from the FCPG Testimonies family. Yeah. You got a good man here as your father, Jeremiah. So we jumped to third wife. How was with this the wife you with now, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So how's life now?
You know, we've had our ups and downs, and you know, people have tried to break us up.
Mhm.
Remember in North Carolina, a lot of different lies and stuff got spread. While you know, because my passion is always the youth. So
Mhm.
before even moving from here, I used to coach youth football and basketball
Mhm.
for Windsor.
Mhm.
Then when we got to North Carolina, we were doing it, and some of the coaches and stuff that came on used to be like, you know, my wife was trying to holler at this one and talk to this one and try to split us up. Then some of the moms were trying to say that I was messing with one of the other mothers, and but through all of this, suicide, everything, even uh, what's it been now, 4, 5 years?
Mhm.
I'm removed from having aortic dissection surgery. She's been there the whole way.
Wow. Wow. And we talked off camera. Shout out to your wife. Shout out
Yes,
to the wife.
ma'am.
You know what I'm saying?
Miss,
You're
hold
good.
up. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say Miss Minister Shaniqua Johnson.
Come on, Miss Minister Shaniqua Johnson. I ain't mad at that at all. And then we talked off camera before we started the podcast about, and then you just mentioned it, the suicide attempt. So could you you mind sharing that story with us?
Oh yeah. This was what, probably 20, was it probably 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. Um, Going through a point in life where a lot of us men, you know, like me and you was talking, you know, we struggle sometimes with being the provider
Come on.
because it's so preached, so taught, and especially, you know, men around our age, our fathers and stuff, hammered that.
Mhm.
You know, my first stepdad, I remember, I think I was probably 12 or 13 at Richmond Hill, and a little white friend of mine came around the corner talking about, "Can Ronnell come outside?" And my dad calls me, and all of a sudden, all I heard was, "Where you get all that money from?" And the boy was like, "Oh, I cut grass and walk dogs and stuff before I could get to the door. The door slams. You better get out here and make your money and don't let nobody make more than you."
Yeah.
And I've been working ever since. So for me, providing and having it is so instilled, so strong.
Yes.
You know, when I used to cut grass and stuff, my mom showed me, I used to keep a little book at Richmond Hill and knew when to go to this house and that house and
Yeah.
whose car I'm washing and kept it down to the T.
Yeah.
So it's so big that when I don't, or, you know, like at that time in Savannah, sometimes it'd be 6 months before I find a job.
Come on. Yeah.
Or for somebody calls me back or whatnot, and we're moving from this house to that house, or cars being repo, lights being turned off, different stuff, and just struggling. And I'm just like, Lord, what's going on? Then at the time, it just seemed like my wife and my mom weren't getting along, or there was always an issue, or, you know, my wife would see something or think something was going to happen, and she's voicing, you know, us as men, you know, especially when you're in church, you're like, you know, you're supposed to cleave to your wife, so you listening to your wife. And I had this close relationship with my mom. I'm like, wait, no, I know my mama. She ain't like that, but then you don't want to choose sides.
Yeah.
So it just hit a point for me one day that I was just like, maybe be better off if I was gone.
Jesus.
And it's funny because I never knew, even though he's one of my favorite comedians, I never knew Richard Pryor's story. And I remember having on a Reggie Bush Saints jersey. If anybody's got one, hit me up. I will buy it because I want that jersey back. It was the white one.
What size you need? Tell them what size you need.
About a 2 to a 3X. Be perfect. But I went in the backyard. My kids was outside playing, and I ended up pouring gasoline on myself. Walked back into the bathroom that was right next to our room, locked the door. And I cut the shower on, so I'm like, subconsciously, I must have thought I won't gonna go through with this.
Well,
And then
hold on. What made you go with gasoline?
I just literally walked in the backyard and saw the gas can.
And just said, I'm gonna dump this on myself.
And I just poured it on the jersey.
Jesus.
Walked back in, lit the lighter. And as I'm looking at the lighter, I never realized that it actually caught the shirt. because I got so stuck looking at the flame. But in the flame, God literally spread the flame out, and I could see every person that has or ever will talk about me, come against me, say anything. But what hit me was dead center was Lucifer.
Mm.
And all y'all that think he looked like the movies with the horns and red and that the demons are ugly, y'all retarded. These were angels first. The Bible don't say they changed appearance. Lucifer's appearance was made out of musical instruments. He was praise and worship. What make y'all think he turned ugly?
Come on.
This man was the most handsomest man I've ever seen in my life. Sitting in the flame. And he only said one thing to me that snapped me out. He looked at me and said, I finally got your black.
Whoa.
Because my ministry and my music, my mom always used to call it devil busting music. Like, I don't pull no punches.
Mm-hmm.
I, even to this day, I go after Satan with no problem. You want to send them because I'm knocking them down.
That's right.
So when them words hit, it hit so hard that I was like, wait a minute, I'm giving in to you?
Come on, Jesus.
Wait, this is a fixed fight. Why am I giving in to you? The Bible said you already lost.
Already.
God said we the head and not the tail.
Come on.
So why am I giving in to you? All this time I'm preaching this music and word and telling people how the devil's a chump and he ain't got no power, but I'm giving in to you? Snap right out. And the only reason I actually got burned at all was because I took the jersey off. If I'd have hopped in that shower, I probably would have never been burned.
Mm.
Ambulance get there, cops get there. They rush me to Memorial. Of course, Memorial, instead of having common sense, noticing that I'm only burned around my chest and stomach, they done cut the pants off and everything. Put me in the helicopter, flying me to Augusta, to the burn center.
Mm-hmm.
They thought I had up to 3rd-degree burns.
Mm-hmm.
Get to Augusta, sitting in their hospital, freezing. This is how funny God is. God know I'm in my birthday suit up under this fire blanket.
Mm-hmm.
But they got that air conditioner set to Antarctica or something because I was in there freezing. I'm like, how am I freezing through a fire blanket?
A fire blanket.
I said, Lord, you funny. Now, me, I ain't never been burned to that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
After they check me in, they're like, all right, you can go take a shower now, whatnot. Me, I'm thinking normal shower. I go cut on the kind of hot, warm water thing, and I'm going to take a normal shower. God said, yeah, okay. Soon as that water hit, boy, I hit a higher pitch than Michael and Prince combined. That heat hit them burns. Woo. Boy, I went to cold water so fast.
I bet you did.
Stepped out that shower. They finally let me put on a little bit of clothes. And that's why I say I never knew Richard Pryor's story till that night.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, my parents and my wife at the time, I think we were just engaged at the time. They're driving up from Savannah. I get there and they let me cut on the TV. In my room was the story of Richard Pryor. And he talked about how he was high out of his mind on cocaine and he saw the Buddhists for religious reasons that set himself on fire. He thought it would be cool if he did it. And I was just sitting there laughing because I'm like, this is one of my favorite comedians. I didn't even know you did nothing that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But then God's like, how you gonna call him stupid with what you just did?
Correct. That's right.
I said, well, dang. Okay, God, you right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they end up realizing it's only 1st and 2nd degree burns. It won't as bad as what Memorial thought. They had the psychiatrist come in and talk to me, and we went through that spill. And I went through the skin graft, and I'm in there with a dude that done got road rash from a motorcycle and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, you dummy, you tried to commit suicide. There's people in here with real issues that done got burned. You do something stupid.
Mm.
And I remember looking at my wife at the time, and I was like, just leave. She was like, some of her family and stuff was like, why you gonna stay with that fool? He tried to commit suicide or whatever. Just leave him. I was like, go. You think it's better? Go. And she stayed all this time. And I remember coming back, deciding to stay home to get healed. And I just say hit my kids so deep that even my oldest stepson, Rico, he goes, you know what? Right now, I'm going to make sure all of us help more around the house. Cleaning and stuff, starting with me.
Mm.
And he started doing it.
Mm.
And then everybody else started to fall in line. Because they seen the need, but they saw Big Brother doing it. Like I used to tell them, I'm like, if you do it, they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started to happen. But I remember not wanting to go back out because I felt like, shout out to Mr. Massey and them that was at Windsor. I was thinking they knew what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, I ain't going in front of them people and have to explain what happened when they already know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was starting to feel the embarrassment.
Yeah.
But shout out to Apostle Brooks. I remember when me and him talked after this happened, and him as a father and a spiritual father to me.
Come on.
That father side came out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like most people would think that your pastor, whatever, would be, have compassion and, you good, you okay. Nah. His words to me, because he knew what reach and what hit was, that he literally looked at me and goes, you done being stupid?
I think so.
It's like, okay, God, you go do the stupid thing again. Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, not again.
And that was your turning point. So, all right. So you heal, you get back up, and then shout out to your kids for stepping up during that time. Cause it's almost as if while you was feeling like you didn't need to be here, it was like God was showing you why you needed to be here through your own kids, because they could have been like, my dad tried to kill himself, and now they wilding. But your kids actually said, you know what? I need to step it up. I need to be more of a son to my father and help out around the house, so maybe he won't be so stressed to do what he did. You know what I'm saying? And then once the oldest one did it, the rest of them followed in suit. That's fire. That's
but
fire.
One thing that we can't take for granted as quote unquote saints is how generational curses and stuff work.
Yeah.
Because even though you may not know what your grandparents or forefathers or anyone went through, and I don't know if any of my family dealt with suicide before on that level, but I know after it tried me, it's tried my girls to where they have tried. Jeez. And so I had to go into spiritual battle against that demon and with all three.
Mm-hmm. And you had more authority because now you knew how to overcome it at the time.
Because I remember when it happened with my oldest, we was in North Carolina and she overdosed on pills. I was at work at another hospital. And when I got the call from my wife, I went over there and they kept asking me, you gonna go in the room with your daughter? When I said, I can't. I was like, because if I go in there, I'm gonna go in there as her father and I'm gonna fail her spiritually. I said, no, I gotta stay outside this room and go into war spiritually first. So when I went into prayer, even against the demon, I just started yelling at my daughter and was like, wake up. And as soon as they told me, her eyes opened and the first thing she did was ask for me. That's when I knew I could walk in the room.
Come on, Jesus. So how did she receive you once you came in the room?
Oh, it was all hugs. She held on and was in tears. But, I had to do that because it's like I heard Apostle Brooks say, even with his mom, it's like, when it's someone that close, sometimes when you go in that situation, you're going to fail because you're going to go as a son or a daughter or husband or whatnot and not that spiritual lead.
Come on.
So sometimes you got to do what other people would say, hey, no, you need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like I said, when Apostle Brooks tells the story about his mom, he was in revival while his mom was in the hospital basically dying. And all his aunts and stuff were like, no, you need to be here. He told them the same thing. No, if I go then, I'm going to fail her because I'm going as her son and not her pastor.
Come on.
So I'm going to finish this revival so I got something to bargain with God.
As you saying that, I'm reminded when they said, Jesus, what's his name? Lazarus, your friend Lazarus is sick. And instead of him going immediately,
he did the work.
He dwelled for 2 more days because he knew he was going to resurrect Lazarus the whole time. Like, he ain't sleep. Lazarus, roll the stone back. Lazarus come forth. That's powerful. That's to have that type of trust and faith in the power of the Holy Spirit and God to not lean not towards your own understanding, but acknowledge Him in all your ways so He can direct your path. And the fact that you like, I don't want to go in there in daddy mode. Let me go to the war against the spirit. And then God honored that because she woke up, asked for you, and then everything is all sweet after that. That's powerful. That's powerful. Man. So you do gospel rap. I'm just jumping switch subject. But you do gospel rap too.
Oh yeah.
How'd you get into that?
My original start as that might have been a preteen or young teen.
Yeah.
Overcoming by Faith took us to the OG Civic Center.
Right. The OG Civic Center.
Not the in-market arena.
Yeah.
The Civic Center.
Yeah.
And God rest his soul, a great brother in Christ, but Carmen was, I guess, touring with one of his early CDs, or I don't know if it was his first or not, but he had a song called Who's in the House? And it was the first Christian hip-hop song I had ever heard or seen perform. Because, I grew up in Germany and I grew up in the era with Michael and Hammer and Prince and all these people. So like a lot of like the Ice Cubes and stuff, I didn't get into till we moved here to the States.
Yeah.
I knew that side, Vanilla Ice and all the pop rap.
Right.
So that was the first one that I really got into. Then with Overcome by Faith, I got introduced to some others, which the next one was DC Talk and my boy Toby Mac. And they had a song called Jesus Is Still All Right With Me. And our youth choir was performing it. And me and my homegirl, Julia Holmes, was battling for who was going to do Toby Mac's part as the soloist.
Yeah, I was battling.
Yeah, we had to rap this in front of Miss Diane Temple.
Miss Diane.
Pastor Rick's wife. And she went, then I'd go, and we were neck and neck until that last verse.
Yeah.
When he kicked it with a little bit more speed, not quite Eminem-ish, but close to that.
Yeah.
And I got lost in it.
Yeah.
And she did it smooth to perfection. And I remember sitting there and I was like, I do not like this feeling of losing.
Come on.
I was like, I ain't losing no more. So, by that time, of course, I'm into even some of the worldly music, your Snoop and Ice Cube and all those that had real lyrics back in the day. Nas and Rakim. I even went back to KRS-One and different ones. I got into the real lyricism of it. By that time, then I got introduced because I got big on No Limit and Master P. And kind of like his story of developing a label, because I always wanted my own label.
Yeah.
So learning his story and how he did it and how he worked the deal and whatnot, kind of struck with me. So then I got into Grape Tree Records. Because back then, any of us that remember going to the Christian bookstores.
Lifeway.
Yes. Christian hip hop started on the bottom shelf. Way in the back somewhere.
Yeah.
When you went to look for stuff. But when Best Buy was carrying it, it'd be right there next to Master P.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, wait a minute, who's this?
Yeah.
And so then I'd listen to it. I was like, wait, this gospel? This Christian?
Yeah.
And one of the first ones I got into was Antonius and Gospel Gangsters. And Gospel Gangsters, anyone that know them, they from the West Coast. So I started listening to them, and then I started listening to the other artists, Rubber Dub and Prime Minister and different ones that came out that I got indulged in it to where it was like, okay, wait. So I ain't got to do this like Luda and Snoop and them.
Come on,
shouts
man.
out to all y'all, P and all y'all that paved the way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I ain't got to keep putting out negativity.
Come on, man.
Just because negativity sells.
Yeah.
I can actually put out positive music. For those of us that are older, remember when there was positive hip hop.
Yes.
You had your Tribe Called Quest and all them.
Yeah.
But then the industry decided that don't make money, so we ain't putting money behind it. So now we gonna push this mess that they've been pushing all these years and getting all y'all artists to keep pushing mess. But then y'all secretly complain on your own podcast that you pushing mess.
Where they do that at?
And most of y'all don't even live what you rapping about anyway.
Come on now. Studio gangsters.
Maybe it was your life, but it ain't now.
Not no more. Yeah, that's right.
Y'all ain't out there, and I ain't saying go do it, but y'all ain't out there still selling packs or drug dealing or stripping or none of what you used to do before. Most of y'all living the good life.
That's right.
Just like all these what you call them reality shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't no way y'all got all this money, but y'all got all this animosity with each other. All this hatred. No, it's scripted.
Come on.
Y'all ain't fighting like that.
Come on.
Most of y'all ain't got time. You too busy.
Yeah.
Y'all doing podcasts and selling shoes and got your own perfume. When you got time to fight? Come on.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And you supposed to be a successful business owner and you on TV fighting. Come on,
but
man.
It be killing me because then out the same breath, everybody's like, oh, we need to push positivity. Well, stop doing the mess. Stop signing up for mess. Like one of the most powerful reality shows I thought it could have been was when they had the 5 black ladies from Atlanta that were the lawyers. And I said, man, if they could keep this positive, this would be big. About 2-3 shows in, these ladies fighting. Y'all prominent lawyers. Are you serious?
I'm gonna let you cook. Go on, do your
like,
thing.
we gonna keep scripting mess and going along with it. But then we want to talk about why they depict us this way. We sign up for it. Quit signing up for the movies. Quit doing dumb music, dumb TV shows, and push positivity. Positivity will sell if you push it. But if all you want to sell is mess because you want views, you want ratings, and that's all the American people know and people worldwide, what else they got to choose? You don't give nobody an option. Just like everyone that complain about social media and TikTok and whatnot, go to Japan, go to China, go to Germany, go to Russia, go to these places where they got social media and see what's pushed in front of their children. They not getting the same mess we getting. But over here in America, because that appeals to the eye, we push it and that's all we see. But if people would quit viewing it, then they would quit showing it. It goes hand in hand. You got to quit clicking on it. Don't complain about what you won't change.
We gonna pass the offering and plate around. Y'all put your tithes and offering in the plate. Man, we'll be right back. Hey, you cook. Hey, you killed that. You was cooking. My goodness. Facts. Everything. All of that.
I mean, it just like I tell my daughter, sometimes I tell my wife, they'll send me stuff. They be like, oh, did you see this? No. Why it ain't on your timeline? Because I don't look at it.
Look at it.
If it ain't got nothing to do with the Bible, helping me grow a business or start a business, stuff that deal with music, because I'm a music production graduate, or dealing with Christian hip hop or anything in that vein, I don't watch it. I won't click or look at it. If it comes across even Instagram, it don't matter. If I'm scrolling first 3 seconds, it's mess pass. I'm not gonna keep watching it.
Come on.
Bring me something with some substance.
That's facts.
Show me something that's gonna help me where I'm trying to get to.
Come on, man. There it is. But you didn't go that route. So how did you get into the CHA? Like, what was your, when you decide, hey, I'm gonna do this gospel rap thing? Like, how'd you find out that you actually had a talent to do it?
It was actually doing a lot of their songs for talent shows.
Okay.
I remember when Overcoming by Faith had one, and I ended up placing second. And at that time, I was still dancing and youthful. I ain't got the legs and knees like I used to back then, brother. Done put on some pounds. So I can't do
that
those
life
things no more.
That life.
Yes, sir. 3 times over. Granddad now.
Come on.
But I used to, some of them even still remember, they talk about it. I remember jumping off the stage doing a 360 split. Hitting the floor.
In the church.
In the church.
360 split.
Dancing and whatnot. So, and then even in Richmond Hill, I was doing talent shows. And I think the one that really sparked for me was, I remember, I think it was 11th grade in our English class. Everybody had to take a poem and do something creative with it. And every one of us had to pick a poet. And I drew Langston Hughes.
Okay.
And I don't remember the exact poem, but I remember it talking about breaking the chains of slavery, but not physically. It was in the mind. And I actually freestyled somewhat his poem to Mac 10's Backyard Boogie in the class.
All right.
It was like the only instrumental I actually had, because I had his single CD for it.
Yeah.
So it had the instrumental on
it. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's how those singles used to be. You got the song and then the instrumental. Yep. Yeah.
And at that time, I had a couple of T-Bone CDs, and one of them actually he did a song with Mac 10 called A Few Good Men. And I was like, wait, now if Mac can get on T-Bone's, let me flip his song.
Come on.
Because I was trying to figure out what I was going to do creative.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just do what you naturally do.
Yeah.
So I got in there, and the look of this class in Richmond Hill. Now, mind you, now we a mixed school, but it is predominantly white.
Yeah.
The look on my teacher's face, who was a white teacher, I can't remember her name, was just stuck. Like, wait, I know he had it in him, but did he just rap a poem? And then you should see all my friends, because they know the song.
Yeah.
So they in there.
Yeah.
Getting it. And I remember being one of the only ones that got 100
Yeah.
on it. for the creativity. So then it was like, wait, I think I could do this.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And then you like, I'm gonna try.
Oh yeah.
How that turn out for you?
Oh, I remember. I think it took a few years to get connected with some people. I remember my mom, who used to do like praise and worship, and actually did a CD. One of her songs she recorded with Charles Singleton and another friend of ours, Keno, and they both had little studios in their house. And I remember them playing one of her songs. It was more upbeat praise and worship, and it had a part in it that was almost like an instrumental just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just spit a rap off the top of my head that flowed perfect. Crazy part was, if we wouldn't have been so emphatic about what I just said, we probably could have re-recorded it right then and there, and it would have been perfect. The moment we walked out that room, I to this day don't remember one word I said. But it was that spark, like, I could do this.
Yeah.
So I remember trying to find people that had beats or had studios, and I ran into one dude that ended up selling me like 3 songs.
Mm.
And one of them, he flipped the I think it was the Michael Myers theme song, and had the more southern snares and drum rolls and stuff going with it. And I called the song. Most of you probably find it. I believe it's still on my Spotify, but it's called Shake 'Em Off.
Okay.
If it ain't on there, you'll find it on my YouTube page.
Yep.
And I did that song and did a couple other ones. I did one called We Need Your Grace, which was around the 9/11 time. And with everything that was going on with 9/11, Katrina had just happened, all of this stuff. So did that one. Then I did one that had my daughter, the one that tried to overdose on the pills. I think she might have been 5. We did a song called Take My Soul. And I had her doing the Lord's Prayer in the beginning. Now I lay me down to sleep. And it was funny because, you know, she couldn't fully get all the words. So instead of sleep, she was like, now I lay me down to sleep. Had that H. But we recorded it, and it was cool. And then friend of mine, Kareem, his dad is Pastor Pounds, has a church right there on not Bull, but the other side, White Bluff, going down the other way, past Windsor.
Okay.
And we had got together and started recording. And shouts out to my boy. We got to get back up since I've been back. And started working together. And I remember I actually did a song called "Cause I Was Heavy into Bone Thugs" as a kid too, and a teenager. They were that was my group.
Yeah, it is. Who's your favorite member?
Oh, Busy.
Come on, man. Hey, yeah. That was, well, I love Busy Bone
to this day. You know, any of y'all need a brother to feature? Hit me up. Because I know they working on new material right now. But I did a song called Bloody Murder, which was really just, it was a song that was talking about killing yourself and killing that old man to let the new man come up. And I remember when KP got on it, the way he flipped it in production, he gave it that chopped and screwed sound. And I was like, dude, what did you do? Because the original version was so different.
Yeah.
But he went and flipped it, and I was like, he was like, you like? I was like, yeah, don't change nothing.
Yeah.
But the way he did it, it worked out perfect. And, you know, I've done some shows, you know, back then in Atlanta by myself. And then I got with a homegirl of mine. We had formed a group together called Partners in Christ. And we did some stuff together. And some of those songs, they're on my Spotify and stuff. And, of course, I give credit to her because she helped write. And most of them, back in the day, I had one of the kind of like first drum machines, the rhythm pad. And that's how I was making my beats. The Zoom rhythm pad. But we went up to Atlanta, did some shows, did some stuff at the mall. I remember my mom doing like kind of interviewing us, and then we performed, and it was crazy because I was up that night before we was practicing with me, her, and her sister. Her sister was part of the group that used to sing, and then we went to Atlanta. I ain't get no sleep because I'm reviewing the songs the whole way up and getting them down pat. And so we did the show at the mall, went back to the hotel, rested, had to do the interview that night. This is when I realized brother might not need to drink any of the drinks, at least as many as I did. Because I had one on the way up, 16, then took a 5-hour, then drunk another one right before the interview.
Oh, yeah, you wildin'.
Man, I hit that stage to the point that I almost forgot my lyrics. I was so hyped and my heart was beating.
Were they speaking in tongues?
But I mean, ever since I no matter what I do, if I try to put it down, it comes back.
It comes.
And so while I was in North Carolina, it was around 2020. I seen an ad on Facebook for Los Angeles Film School and doing music production. So I signed up. They got me approved. You know, in this day and age, because of computers and MIDI notes and all this stuff you can get, you really don't need a production degree, in all honesty. But for me, it was the easiest way to get the equipment at the same time.
Right.
When a brother don't have money.
Yeah,
and the
because
funds.
they give you the computer with the tuition. Yeah.
You know, when you taking care of a family with 8 kids, it's kind of hard to sacrifice money for studio equipment.
Yeah.
So they sent me everything.
Yeah.
My mics, the MacBook, all the software, you get it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, I learned a lot through there. I learned how to even score for movies and how to do commercials and the copyrights and all of this stuff. So, you know, ever since, especially since I've had it my own, I just been dropping.
How long did it take you to graduate from
LA? It was about, I started in 2020 and graduation was 2023.
That ain't bad.
Online with a 4-year bachelor's. And it really, in all honesty, it only took that long because in between that, I think it was 2021, I ended up having to have heart surgery. I had aortic dissection surgery. And so I was down for a while. So I had to, for those few months I was out, I had to go back and make that up.
Yeah. That's right. You dropped another gem, man. You had heart surgery too? Man, how old are you?
43.
43.
Be 44 in April.
Come on now. You a well of wisdom, man. You done been through a lot and you still fairly young. 43 ain't bad. That's dope. So you got any projects out for people to like download, listen to?
Doesn't matter which media site you go on. If you pull up Instagram, Spotify, whatnot, you can either find it under G.O.V. or look up God's Ordained Visionary. And it's on all music platforms. My last one I did had a producer hit me up, and I had never heard the song before, but he wanted to do an actual Christian rap version of Praise the Lord that A$AP Rocky dropped. And so when he sent it to me, he rewrote the hook. He was like, the verse is all you. And so I got to listening to it, and I was like, okay, I could flip the verse. But I was like, with the way that I rap, I say, wait a minute, let me see what they did. So I went back and listened to their version. I was like, yeah, we got to flip this.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned their flow a little bit and their style and put my lyrics to it, and we did it. And that's like one of the first ones that's up there. I've got some other stuff where I bought beats from other people, where I've got features from different big name artists that they put on the tracks. Those are on there, but currently I'm actually working on a new one, whole album.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna try to drop this year.
Yeah.
Way before the year's out, hopefully by the summer.
Yeah.
Because I'm working to get a lot of my stuff back on my computer and whatnot. But a lot of them, there's a couple of them that y'all will see.
Yeah.
Your boy Grace and Mercy on. He ain't got no choice.
You know, I was just waiting for you to stop talking so I can throw in the plug. But you know, you did it
I'ma
for
throw
me.
the plug.
You did it for me.
We gonna do some stuff together.
They say you was in the spirit with that one.
We gonna do some stuff together. And
Facts.
one of my know is on my SoundCloud that I'm gonna do an extended version of, but it's repping Savannah, but for Christian hip hop artists.
Got you.
But when I do the extended, I want to reach out to a bunch of different people.
Come on.
And get them on it, and from different areas.
Yeah.
Even different parts of the world. So if you're a Christian hip hop artist, find me on any social media, hit me up.
Yeah.
Let's link.
Yeah. So you want to do it just for Savannah specifically, or just anybody?
The extended, I want to reach out to everybody and bring a.
Got you. Because I actually attempted it one time in the past. Like, I thought would be a dope idea for like the Christian hip hop artists in Savannah to do like a cipher. And just get like one long beat and everybody just jump on that joint and smash it. When I did it, it was kind of last minute, and then the people that I was trying to do it with, they was like they was with it, but it was kind of last minute. Then the beat that I had in my mind, some of them didn't agree with it, so we ended up not doing it. But that's definitely been like in my spirit to like do a cipher for CHH artists in Savannah, because you know everybody. Zion, Chosen, Church Boy, AG, you, me, Willie G, man.
Then I got
all them boys out here in Savannah, man.
I got a homeboy that's out in Midway, that I work with, David. That brother there, he a Christian hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Whew. Me and him working on some stuff together that, man, when y'all hear him.
Slingshot on the track.
That boy is not playing. We working on a song now that actually I told him, I said, I'm going to add another verse to. I'm going to extend it. I bought the beat from, y'all probably see him on Instagram. Any of us that do music, he come across KP on the beat. And so I bought it from him, but it's called Shots Fired.
Okay.
And we taking shots at the devil.
I ain't mad at it. Bang, bang. Bang, bang, price gang.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I just want to appreciate you one more time for coming in. This has been a dope, amazing, awesome episode, bro. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to come. Yeah. You wasn't one of the ones that I was thinking gonna come, but when I saw you see the inbox, I'm like, oh, let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I love how God just aligned stuff. Because, like, we talked about it off camera a while ago. Like, even back in the day, well, not back in the day, but when you first heard my music, you said you was on Tybee Island. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I was working on the beach at the Deck Beach Bar and Grill restaurant out there.
Yeah.
And this one white dude, he from England or somewhere. He brought you up. And it shocked me because I'm looking at him like, what do you know about Christian hip hop? You ain't even from Savannah.
Yeah.
But when he brought it up, he was like, you ever heard of Grace and Mercy? I said, who is that? So I went because I had my Bluetooth speaker there. And I would always play different music, but I would play Christian hip hop too.
Yeah.
So as soon as he said it, I went right to Spotify. Grace and Mercy. I was like, oh, who this? And played it. I was like, oh yeah, save. Put all his songs on my Christian hip hop playlist. Y'all go to it and check it out. And I was like, no, I got to find this brother.
Yeah.
And I never thought to find your social media on Spotify.
Yeah.
But then when Apostle Brooks came to True Vine and we connected, I was like, oh yeah.
I mean, I've been looking for you. I'm looking like, you have? That's love, babe. And then to go from that to now, you sitting in my house on FCPG Testimonies, man. Clap it up one time. Clap it up one time for the Holy Ghost and God putting things together in His divine timing. You can't tell me you can't want to serve a God like that.
God put something on me that I'm going to do, and He going to be a part of. Because we going to shed a light on Christian hip-hop.
Yes.
And especially in Savannah.
Yeah.
And for any Christian hip-hop dance groups,
yeah,
y'all invited too.
Yeah.
But I'm planning to do a day at Forsyth Park
Oh, come on.
at that stage
Come on.
where all of us can get our shine.
Come on.
We can promote ourselves, promote the shirts and all. Y'all see the fully committed shirts. And trust me, your boy will be patronizing. I will get one. I hit him up, inbox him, shoot him the money, and come over here and grab mine.
Yeah.
Got to get one for the wife too, because I know she gonna want one.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
But it's gonna be where we can shine, because there's not a lot of light shined on Christian hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lane for it. There's so many artists that are out.
Yes.
There's so many YouTube pages and stuff that's out there with positive music that'll reach you where you at.
Yeah.
And what you going through.
Yeah.
And it just needs to be a light that shined on it. We don't have to have the industry.
Yeah.
Trust me. All these other artists that are out there done showed us the way.
Yeah.
It's time to take it and run with it.
That's a fact.
We don't need the big companies. So all you big boys can go sit down. We gonna do this one ourselves.
Yeah, it is. Y'all done wrote the vision and made it plan. Now we gonna take it and run with it.
Yes, sir.
There it is. That's the word on y'all boys. So once again, this has been another episode of FCPG Testimonies. I am Grace and Mercy, your host with the Holy Ghost. I'm here with my big homie, my partner, Mr. RJ Ronnell Johnson. And we just thank y'all for watching.
Yes, sir.
It looks like our live audience has a gift that she would love to just go ahead and share. So we gonna let her do that. Come on, honey, you got it. You. She
gonna pass it out.
Look at that. You see that? The man has spoken into this. This is a 3X. Oh, that's 4X. Fully committed shirt. So we gonna gift that to you right there live on camera. And listen,
Appreciate it.
we are
And this here is FCPG Testimonies.